it's very interesting because what we're going to be doing today is talking about meetings. And most professionals out there have a problem with meetings. You know, there's even a saying called death by PowerPoint. It's very interesting. And so death by PowerPoint is what we don't want. What we want to do is effective meetings. And today I'm going to talk about this acronym. It's very interesting because I came across this acronym, which is the PALM method for effective meetings. And this is really amazing because my last name is Palm, but it's an acronym, and it was created by this person called Graeme Codrington, who is from South Africa. And he is a specialist in delivering conferences to create a better future for all of us. He's helping us check out the trends that are going to help us for a better future. And one of them, of course, is the dealing with meetings. Okay, so I'm a little bit distracted, but here we go. There we go. We're live on Facebook too. We're live here. And if you're here and you have a question or comment, just feel free to raise your hand. I'll try to communicate with you. So the 4 method today is for effective meetings. And like I said, these ideas are from a person that is an expert in helping us deal with our changes. We're always in a state of flux, and more than ever, all these things that have happened in recent years. But now we are trying to get, the new normal, and that's what we're doing today. So regarding meetings, and this is interesting because it's an acronym that I said is PALM like me, like in my last name, but it's P is for purpose in the palm. You look at the palm of your hand, right? Okay, so here it is. And there's PALM, PALM. And though that acronym is going to help you to remember how you can improve your effectiveness in meetings, not die, by death by PowerPoints, or just, the typical case where there's lots of things going on, and then you realize 2 hours have gone by, and then you don't even remember what happened. So the letter P, as in palm, for an effective meeting is to determine the purpose. So what is the purpose? Why do we want to have this meeting? What do we want cause to happen? And after we finish the meeting, what are you what are the expected goals? What are the objectives? So the P in our PALM method for effective meetings is purpose. So the next one is going to be agenda. So we have PALM. The letter A is going to stand for agenda. Now, what is the agenda? Well, it's the decisions that need to be made in order to cause the purpose, right? So we already determined the purpose. We already know what we're going to be talking about. What's the agenda? It's we were going to discuss the things specifically that lead to the purpose of the meeting. An agenda is basic, and it is preferable to communicate it even before you start your meeting to all your attendees, because that way people can prepare for questions or comments, and you can be much more effective. Now let's talk about the L. The L in our PALM method for effective meetings, PAL, is the limit of time. And I've been in this case a million times. You need to determine how much time are you going to dedicate to this meeting? And you have to let everybody know that, because you allocate 45 minutes, let's say. By the way, why do we allocate an hour? Why doesn't it have to be 30 minutes? It could be 45. It could be 27. And I mean, it's kind of interesting because you can allocate any amount of time. I mean, somebody told us that in our calendars, we've got hours or half hours, but it could be 17 minutes and you can stick by that. The thing is that you don't go on and on and on, and knowing that you've got that time, you can really effectively run that meeting, considering the things that you are going to deal with according to your purpose and the agenda. And finally, the letter M in the PALM method for dealing with or running effective meetings is the letter M, and that is to minimize attendees. Now, because it's a very common practice to just say, hey, there's a meeting, everybody come, and then most of them are either chatting in their WhatsApp or their Facebook or their Instagram, or they're doing something else because they're like, oh, I mean, it's not a meeting for me. Why should I? So just invite the people who are actually there to make decisions according to your agenda and the purpose of the meeting. So once again, another very important tip, which is, we've already finished the acronym PALM, which is purpose, agenda, limit the time, and minimize the number of attendees. So now just a last tip is, you don't need to minute all the discussion. You don't need to take notes on every single thing that happened. All you have to record and take minutes of is the decisions that were made, the actions to be taken, and how you can distribute those actions among the people. So I think that it's very important that we, when we talk about, taking minutes at the meeting and then sharing those minutes with the attendees so that everybody's on the same page, right? Everybody has to be aware of what was going on in the meeting, what you committed to, and how you can take responsibility. You can be accountable for those decisions. So in conclusion, PALM is a method for effective meetings to massively increase its productivity and also the enjoyment of the meeting, because that way we know that we have a specific purpose, it's a specific agenda, a specific time, and the attendees that are really involved in the specific project. So I suggest that you give it a try, look at the palm of your hand and say, yes, we're going to follow the PALM method for effective meetings. I'm sure that you'll see that it really works. Now, once again, let me just remind you that all of these ideas are taken from not only my experience, but also I do my research on important thinkers, business thinkers, life thinkers. And in this case, we're talking about Graeme Codrington, who is he's an author from South Africa, a researcher, a strategy consultant. And he definitely has very interesting topics. Check him out. If you are following me on YouTube, or later I can post these slides for you to. Well, I don't have slides here in Instagram, but I'll let you know where to deal with, because last night I was watching him talk about the future, and I'm going to create another program with just those ideas that he is suggesting as we are encountering, another year, and what to look after in the next following months. So thank you so much for being here today. That would be all for our Go Live with Teresa PALM. This is kind of like a challenge that for me, because I'm not experienced in broadcasting, but it is exciting because I get to see you every day, and I get to deal with technology. And that's my challenge. What is your challenge? I'm sure your challenge is English language skills. And that's why we're here. We're here to help you. Contact me for any goal, for any consult, if you need if you have any questions and how to become a bilingual professional, I can really help you. I've been doing this for a lot of years. I'm not going to tell you how many, but a lot of years. So visit my webpage, which is www.palmlearning.com, and find me in Instagram here, teresa.palmlearning. And I have my YouTube channel, which is Palm Learning. And of course, I'm always available for you to contact me personally, and I'll get back to you with any kind of tips that you might have. So at this point, I'm going to say goodbye because I'm going to continue with attendees on the Facebook transmission. And I think that it's very important that we do this every single day, go live and express our concerns about professional skills, English, and communication skills in English. So thank you for your time and for watching. Bye for now, and see you tomorrow at 12. Now, this lets me continue with our transmission here, and it's really nice to have you again. Susana, what are your concerns today? Do you like the topic of meetings?
Oh, yes. Yes, although I would like to know how can I, let's say, choose the people that's going to be at the meeting, because, well, if this meeting is between people that, let's say, know each other from a long time, then you can decide who can assist to the meeting, but or who can participate. But let's say that it's a meeting, well, between professors, and you don't know who is the responsible of that group. So
are you, just a question, are you talking about online meetings? Or,
yes.
Yes, online. That's the challenge, right?
Yes.
So who is heading, let's talk about the correct vocabulary, no? So who's running the meeting, who's chairing the meeting, who's conducting? Maybe we can use the word conducting the meeting, and that's when I'm going to start using my super apps that I'm really happy about. And here we go. I'm going to just put the word conducting meetings. So the first thing is, who is conducting the meeting, right?
Yes. Okay.
And you don't know that, or what is the challenge you've got?
No. Well, suppose I am conducting the meeting. The meeting. I am running the meeting. That are the two words that you told me, right? Running.
Yes, it's conducting the meeting, or running the meeting, or heading the meeting. Yes.
Heading. Okay. Good. Okay. But and then I am inviting people to participate in this meeting. And as you told us in your presentation, it's important to minimize the
number of attendees. Yes, because let me just put it here just so that we remember that the PALM is an acronym, and that PALM is supposed to be so first you have to determine, number one, the purpose.
Yes, that's right.
So why are you there? So why did you ask them to be in the meeting? And then also, what is the agenda?
Yes, okay.
So then, what is your question?
Okay, let's suppose that it's a meeting about let's invent. Let's say in the Secretaría de Educación Pública, SEP, here in Mexico, right? So and this meeting is to decide, let's say, the how can I say, presupuesto for
the budget. That's very important that you ask me the budget.
Thank you. let's suppose we are going to talk about the budget for the primary education in Mexico for 1923. So, and then I don't know who are the people that can take decisions. So how can I, well, first of all,
Determine.
yes.
Yes, you need to, well, that would be previous work. That would be previous work because according to your purpose, so you, what are your objectives? And so you need to, yeah, you need to do some previous work on
Okay,
on
yes.
who, and that, and the word for that is called stakeholders. So when you're running a meeting or in conducting a meeting, so then there will be the stakeholders. So what is stakeholder? The stakeholder is a person who are involved, right? So you're not going to invite, for example, your next door neighbor to this meeting because he would not be involved in the project. So the stakeholders should be, I think it's a very important activity to determine before you even call for the meeting.
Yes, that's right. Okay.
And determine who the stakeholders are. Stakeholders who would be the people that should be involved, but then sometimes they may not necessarily be the attendees, because the attendees could be other people that represent those stakeholders, or people that, you know, if somebody, an authority cannot make it, or some kind of you know, the head of a department, so you invite their assistant, right? So it's very important that we, in my opinion, because it's very easy to just say, oh, hey, there's a meeting, and then you go like, and you waste all this time.
Yes.
And just because you're participating here today, I'm going to give you a questionnaire. It's not a questionnaire, but it's kind of like a, yeah, it's like a question. It's like a survey in which we help you to determine how effective you are. So I'm going to give you that PDF in just a minute, as soon as we say goodbye, because it's important that you assess yourself. See, it's very difficult to ask for help sometimes when your own ideas are not so clear.
Yes.
So this one is going to help you get your ideas clear. It's to prepare before the meeting. So there's a lot of time before. So you have this idea, right? And so you say, okay, I need to make the purpose is to make a decision. I want this to happen. Let's make this happen. And so when you have that purpose, then you start thinking, okay, we should, do these, discuss, what, where, when, how we're going to achieve the purpose. And then, like you said, who are the people who can help me achieve that goal? And I think that we don't do that very often. I think we just say, hey, let's have a meeting and let's see what happens. Right?
Yes.
And so what I'm going to give you shortly, and anybody who is listening to this replay, I'm going to be offering this PDF where we have how to conduct effective meetings. Now, it is not the PALM method that I just explained, because that's like a methodology. This is going to be more like a self-assessment of how you conduct meetings. How do you prepare for meetings? And then you can say, okay, let me apply. Once I have detected the way I do it now, let's apply this method to become more effective. Because it's definitely a very, very important tool, right?
Okay.
So thank you so much for being here today again. It's amazing that we can communicate every day, very shortly, but effectively too, right? And I hope that more of your colleagues and people at Sinvestav, I know there's 2,000 people at least. So yes. I've been there many times. I love it. I just love where you're located. It's full of trees. It's such a nice environment. And Sinvestav is a research center, and there's lots of things going on. So maybe there will be a time for you, if you're up to it. So why don't you make a presentation and tell us all about what you do? Would you like to do that?
Oops, yes, of course.
I mean,
Well,
don't worry, you tell me when you're ready. And so, because we're gonna be meeting every day for the next, weeks until the
Okay.
end of January.
yes,
And the objective of these lives is to do that. If I'm doing it, you can do it. So I'm not an expert either. I'm also learning. So maybe you can just tell us very briefly what you do. I'll give you a couple of slides that you can, just briefly. And I don't know if you know this, but I do a lot of these exercises with my students at Sinvestav Guadalajara.
Mm.
And we prepare for presentations and things, and we're going to talk about that later, but it's something very important that you know how to approach effectively once you do your meeting effectively, to also make presentations effectively. So we'll discuss that in future go lives with Teresa Pan. For now, I think it's been wonderful. Thank you so much, and talk to you tomorrow at 12 p.m. and invite anybody who you